Good morning, fellow citizens, and welcome to update number 6 from TIZ's Kuteteza Masankho Election Project. With the 2026 general elections now just 9 days away, the conduct of all stakeholders in the electoral process becomes increasingly important in safeguarding public confidence in the process. As we have stated in previous updates, we have election monitors deployed in all 10 of Zambia's provinces, and through this arrangement, we have been highlighting key issues arising during this election season based on the on-the-ground observations that our monitors have continued to make. For our update today, we reflect on the increasing use of campaign vehicles with concealed registration number plates, the Electoral Commission of Zambia's management of the ballot paper printing exercise, and the importance of maintaining political neutrality within the public service during this election period. TIZ election monitors have observed an increasing number of UPND campaign vehicles operating with concealed, covered, or otherwise obscured registration number plates during campaign activities in different parts of the country. While political parties have every right to campaign freely, the concealment of registration plates raises very legitimate concerns regarding transparency and accountability. Registration numbers enable the public and law enforcement agencies alike to identify vehicles should they be involved in road traffic offenses, electoral offenses, acts of political violence, or indeed other incidents that may require investigation. Under Section 29(1) of the Road Traffic Act number 11 of 2002, it is an offense to obscure or allow to become not easily distinguishable motor vehicle registration marks and numbers, and the Act goes further to provide for the fining of any offenders upon conviction. TIZ therefore calls upon both the Road Transport and Safety Agency and the Zambia Police Service to take immediate action to stamp out this practice and bring all perpetrators to book. The concealment of registration plates also makes it difficult for citizens and oversight institutions to determine whether these campaign vehicles are privately owned or belong to the government of the Republic of Zambia. During elections, there is heightened public interest in ensuring that public resources are not used to advance partisan political interests. Where vehicles cannot be identified, this inevitably fuels speculation and public suspicion, even in circumstances where no misuse of public resources may actually have occurred. The distinction between state resources and political party resources is a fundamental principle of any free and fair election. Public confidence is strengthened where political actors conduct campaigns transparently and avoid practices that create unnecessary perceptions of impropriety. TIZ therefore calls upon all political parties to ensure that campaign vehicles comply with the Road Traffic Act by displaying their registration plates at all times. We further urge the RTSA and Zambia Police Service to enforce the law consistently and impartially, regardless of political affiliation, in order to promote accountability and strengthen public confidence in the electoral process. We move to the second issue. Now, TIZ has closely followed the Electoral Commission of Zambia's management of the ballot paper printing exercise, which was conducted in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. We commend the Commission for taking deliberate steps to enhance transparency throughout the exercise by accrediting representatives of political parties, civil society organizations, election observers, and members of the media to witness the printing process. The Commission also provided very regular public updates and responded to concerns related to different aspects such as ballot paper quantities, excess ballot papers arising from booklet printing requirements, as well as candidates whose names remained on the ballot after withdrawal and other operational matters. These efforts contributed positively to strengthening stakeholder confidence in the ballot printing process. But at the same time, TIZ noted concerns that were raised by some stakeholders regarding the delay in the arrival of ballot papers in the country, as well as the costs incurred by political parties to observe the printing process. While the Commission addressed many of these concerns publicly, the discussions demonstrate that continuous stakeholder engagement and timely communication remain very essential during sensitive stages of the electoral process. TIZ therefore encourages the ECZ to maintain the same level of openness and proactive communication throughout the remaining stages of this electoral process. Equally, political parties and other stakeholders should raise concerns responsibly and avoid circulating unverified information that may unnecessarily undermine public confidence in the Commission or indeed in the electoral process itself. We move to the last issue. Now, as TIZ, we have noted with concern the continued involvement of some public officers in public political discourse during the election period, which is an issue that we have highlighted in a previous update. Most recently, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Media, Mr. Tawo Kawana, publicly urged Zambians not to support a return to the governance style associated with a former Patriotic Front administration while defending the record of the current UPND administration. Now, while government has a legitimate responsibility to communicate policies, programs, and achievements, public officers should exercise caution not to engage in partisan political campaigning. TIZ wishes to remind Mr. Kawana and other civil servants that are engaging in active political activities, whether in support of the ruling UPND or any other political party, that active participation in politics by civil servants constitutes gross misconduct. In particular, number G under category B of the Disciplinary Code and Procedures for Handling Offences in the Public Service explicitly makes it an offence for public officers to engage in active politics, including speaking in public on political matters. As we did in our fourth update on the 21st of July regarding Mr. Andrew Banda's active engagement in political activities while serving as Zambia's ambassador to South Korea, we again wish to amplify our call to the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa, to institute necessary disciplinary measures against the two public officials for brazenly abrogating this position. The deafening silence from the Secretary to the Cabinet when his officers are so publicly abrogating the disciplinary code as highlighted raises very serious concerns about political bias within the civil service, but is also an indictment on Mr. Kangwa's ability to exercise the authority of his office. The public service exists to serve all Zambians, irrespective of political affiliation. And during an election period such as we are in, it is particularly important that public officers remain professional, impartial, and politically neutral. Political debate, defense of party records, and criticism of political opponents should remain a preserve of political party functionaries and not public servants whose remuneration is paid by the citizens of Zambia. We cannot overstate the importance of addressing this issue, and we challenge the Secretary to the Cabinet to make a public statement and assure the citizens of Zambia that he is not running a civil service that has effectively gone rogue and where his officers are not taken to task for abrogating the Public Service Disciplinary Code with impunity. In the same vein, TIZ is concerned by the participation of the Zambia National Service Commander during a recent engagement between President Hakainde Hichilema and students from the University of Zambia at State House. During that engagement, the commander highlighted interventions that have been undertaken by ZNS and spoke about improvements in sanitation at the university, among other achievements attributed to the government. While public institutions have a legitimate role in reporting on programs that they implement, the timing and context of such presentations during an active election campaign require very careful consideration. Security institutions, in particular, are expected to maintain operational neutrality and political impartiality, and their public communication should avoid creating perceptions that they are being drawn into advancing a political narrative or indeed endorsing the achievements of any one political party during an election season. As I conclude, as Zambia approaches a polling day, TIZ wishes to remind all stakeholders that the credibility of an election is not determined by what happens on polling day alone, but by the conduct of political parties, public institutions, candidates, and citizens throughout the whole electoral process. We therefore encourage all stakeholders to continue acting in a manner that promotes transparency, accountability, respect for the rule of law, and peaceful political participation. For our part as an organization, we remain committed to objectively monitoring the electoral environment and constructively engaging stakeholders in the interest of strengthening public confidence in Zambia's democratic processes. We have noted some extreme reactions to these updates, including accusations by the UPND Deputy Secretary General that we are targeting her party, and we wish to put it on record that nothing could be further from the truth. As stated in our very first update 2 months ago, we use these updates to raise awareness on the issues that our election monitors on the ground are observing on a day-to-day basis, and we will not sugarcoat anything in that respect, regardless of which political party is involved. It is our sincere hope that the remaining days of the campaign will be characterized by integrity, restraint, and respect for democratic principles, and we challenge all political parties, candidates, and other stakeholders to live up to these ideals. I thank you, and may God bless Zambia.